What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again. Recording this video late. Understatement. It's probably about 11:30. But obviously we're going to tomorrow. It's deadline day. I wanted to do a summary sort of video, talk about what I feel like we need, what also might be happening in terms of internally, what might go out. You're also going to have the match preview today at some point, probably 7 o'clock. And you are also at some point going to have a reaction to deadline day. So look, let's talk about what I feel we need first of all. So this Everton team, without a shadow of a doubt, needs some creativity. It was abundantly obvious in the game against Doncaster. It was abundantly obvious all season. There isn't enough goals. And look, Beto did phenomenal when he come on. But he is playing against Doncaster. You know, he's going to have tougher tests in the Premier League. You're going to have to help him out. You know, we've got McNeil to come back. We've got Jack Harrison to come in. Calvert-Lewin will chip in, of course he will when he's fit. I just think we need something more, you know, whether that be goals from midfield, whether that be another winger. I think we do need something like that. People have been talking about getting a central midfielder. I'm definitely not adverse to that. I think a central midfielder would be good. There's some almost Everton hopeful links with Calvin Phillips, obviously formerly at Leeds, now a Manchester City player, currently in the England team, albeit he doesn't play a lot for Man City. So, look, he is the sort of player that would absolutely be welcomed open-hearted into Everton. If Everton could pull a move off like that, that would be massive, I think, because all of a sudden, I think it really does take away the pressure from centre midfield. I mean, I really rate Calvin Phillips, really rate him. I think he's an exceptional footballer. He's clever. He can move the ball well. He carries really well. He puts a foot in. He's aggressive. He plays for the shirt that he wears. He's got all the right attributes. He would walk into that Everton side and probably very quickly be the best player on the pitch. My only concern is we get linked with these players. He's had his injuries. It's a lot of money to spend in terms of wages and things for a player that you may not get more than 25 games from, because his injury record isn't great. He had the same issues at Leeds. He's had issues at Manchester City. And that's the only thing that worries me about Calvin Phillips. I've got no doubt of his ability. It's the regularity you're going to get him on a football pitch. And Everton this season especially need people who are going to be playing week in, week out. And that's my only fear with a Calvin Phillips. And there is other central midfielders out there that Everton will no doubt get linked with. But I do think it's an area we need to strengthen. And I do think it's an area that, you know, a loan signing would make perfect. There is another player, and again, I think it's very aspirational. But Conor Gallagher from Chelsea, a player that I admire massively. You know, Southgate was talking about him playing in a single pivot. But actually, sometimes I wonder if Southgate knows what he's talking about, because Gallagher can actually play in a double pivot or a single pivot. He has the ability to go with both feet, both sides, pick up a ball either way and spray either side. He is not a singular person. He can definitely play with another and allow them to push on and him take up the defensive role. And he equally can do the same going the other way, where he is the more offensive midfielder and somebody will sit behind him. Him and Onana would work very, very well together. But again, you're talking about players that are, let's be realistic, for all intensive purposes, probably out of our reach at the minute. We are where we are in the Premier League for a reason. We're 19th. We haven't scored a goal in the league. We've conceded, 6? You know, you're not all of a sudden going to be attracting top talent to Everton. You're going to be attracting players who have a reason to sign for Everton. You know, Beto, for example, he had a reason to sign for Everton. You know, we've seen videos of him in Everton shirts from 2016. We've seen the fact that he loves Samuel Eto'o. He mentions Morales, Baines, Lukaku. You know, he knew the Everton history before he joined as a 20-year-old man. You know, he knew He knows football, the boy. He knows football. He's got it. He understands it. He's a top lad, and he's going to be brilliant. He's going to be absolutely brilliant. I've got no doubt about it. Beto's a great signing, but he is going to need some help, and that is going to have to come in the form of something in the middle of the park. We haven't had a goal-scoring midfielder since Ross Barkley. And I mean when Ross Barkley was good, by the way. So, look, it's definitely an area that needs to be addressed. I do think Everton need a winger, especially if Iwobi leaves. I suspect Iwobi will leave. I've thought it most of the window. You know, statistically, he's our most creative player. I get that. He runs hard. He's aggressive when he needs to be. He's a genuinely nice character. He's got great feet. He's not quick. He's not quick. He hasn't got that burst of pace that a traditional winger has. He hasn't got that. He's more slow and steady. I can't believe I'm about to make this comparison. When me and John used to do the watch-alongs, we used to call him Iwobi, Iwobinho, and Iwobison. You can see that he's styled the way he plays on Ronaldinho. Close control with his feet, quick feet, but the difference between him and Ronaldinho is Ronaldinho was world class at passing, at shooting, at distribution, at looking through the channels. Iwobi's not. That simple. So I think it's you're talking about a player that statistically is probably one of our best players. Against, is he really? Is it more a case of that's where Everton's standards are now, unfortunately? And I think it's the latter. I think Iwobi is not a great footballer. I was very disappointed when we signed him because I thought the fee was ridiculous. And up until, let's be honest, 12 months ago, maybe 18 months ago, that fee was completely overpaid. A lot of people didn't want to see him in the team. The summer that we signed Iwobi was the same summer that we were linked with Wilfried Zaha. We were linked with Decore at the time. And I think we were linked with signing Kurt Zouma on a permanent deal after we'd been loaned to us. And we ended up with Iwobi. We completely let Marco Silva down at the time. And for me, I think if Iwobi leaves, he leaves with all good intentions. I'll never say, I've said things about Iwobi. I've said that he's not been good enough, and I've disrespected him in that sense. But he has put his all into Everton, and I have no issue if this is his time to move on. But we do need to replace him. We absolutely need to replace him because you can't lose Anthony Gordon, Damari Gray, and Alex Iwobi within 12 months. And not replace them with adequate creativity. You just can't do that. So that is another area that I think Everton absolutely need a player. And some people say Alex Iwobi plays through the centre. Alex Iwobi can pretty much play anywhere apart from in goal. He can play left back, right back, both wings. He plays comfortably in the number 10 role in the middle. He can play in centre midfield. He was actually brilliant last season in central midfield at times. So, look, I wish him all the best, but I don't think he's going to be at Everton from tomorrow. And I still think we could do with a centre-back. I still think we need a centre-back. I think getting rid of Yuri Mina was a mistake, and I've said that, and I know that he was injury-prone, but I would have tried to find a way to negotiate a contract that worked for him and us. I don't think it was right that he left. We've been linked with players like Harry Maguire. That's not going to happen. We've been linked with various other centre-halves. I don't think we'll sign one, but I think we probably should. So we've got to look at that area, I think, but I don't necessarily think they'll do that now. I think they'll look in January. I think he'll feel that with Godfrey, Branthwaite, Tarkowski and Michael Keane, I think that you'll probably think that's enough. I'm on the fence about that, bearing in mind that we have left and right backs that both pick up injury. All of them pick up injuries. We saw the other night that Mikalenko isn't good enough. It's no disrespect to him, but he's not at the level. You know, he's a championship footballer. We've paid £25 million for. I mean, it's that simple. You know, you've got Ashley Young playing on the right-hand side of midfield. I mean, there is not enough depth defensively to cover all these positions. You know, you're relying on Ashley Young, who's 38, and Coleman, who's what, 35? You're relying on that. It is a joke, to be honest. It's a joke situation to be in. Nathan Patterson, I think he's an able body. I would like to see him kick on this season. I thought he ended last season really well. I don't think he started the season as well as he ended last season, so that is an area that he needs to improve, but I don't think we need a right back. So yeah, so that's where I am from a defensive standpoint. Goalkeepers, I'm fine with what we've got. Up front, I would like another striker. And the reason I like another striker is because if you're letting Tom Cannon go, and I still think, although it's not been mentioned today, I still think Neil Maupay could go. I would like to think there was a player coming in. We've been linked with Danny Ings. I'd have no problem with Danny Ings. I know people have said, you know, he played for Liverpool, blah, 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 blah. He knows where the net is. And when he's not injured, he's good. And people will say, you know, but he is injured, Mike, he gets injured a lot. Yeah, the last time he played, I think it was like 30 games, he scored 12 goals. If you give me 20 games and he scores 7, I take that all day. Because I have no issue with Dyche playing 4-4-2 either. I don't have that problem. So I do think a striker would be nice. And then you're looking at outgoings. So tomorrow could be a big day for players like Andre Gomez, Gabami, Neil Maupay. It could be a big day for Alex Iwobi. Damari Gray will be going. I think you'll find that somebody like... I think you'll find that Tom Cannon will go. I don't think it'll be a permanent deal. I think it'll be a loan. I think Championship sides have left it too late to make it a permanent deal unless it's a big one, which you could argue that Leicester is probably the biggest as of right now in terms of the financial pedigree that is down there. You'd probably say Leicester are the biggest, and they are the ones that apparently are sniffing around him for a fee of around £7 million, a fee that they're going to be getting from the sale of Iheanacho for, I think, £8 million, which in my opinion is a steal, by the way. So yeah, so I think now your players that are going to go. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a bit of a wild card in there. Someone like Michael Keane, for example, because he knows how the Everton fans feel about him. And again, I have no issue with Michael Keane on a personal level, but I do not think he's good enough either. It's just whether you can bring in a centre half in 18 hours. I don't know how many hours it is from now, 23 hours, whatever it is. By the time this video comes out, it'll be probably about 15 hours before deadline. We'll see. Who knows? So look, I'm leaving it there. Deadline day is massive for Everton. It really is. I feel like we've got the man up front, and I'm happy with Beto. I do think we could do with a bit more. I think we need someone in midfield. I think we need a centre half, and I think we need a winger. Do I expect 4 signings tomorrow? No. I expect 1, because that is typical Everton. When we can try and get the job done, they can't. I think it'll be 1 signing. I think it'll be a winger of some type. We've been linked with Sinistera. We've been linked with Wilfred Knight. But to be honest, any player from Leeds in a forward position, Everton have been linked with. We've been linked with Gnonto, been linked with Sinistera. We've also been linked with Silamana at Southampton, who apparently is not a priority for Everton. So that is not a position that apparently we're mega jumping about. So I'm worried about that. But we definitely need something creative. depending on what style of play is going to go. And that creative player either needs to be in the middle of the park or one of the wings or both. It's that simple. It needs to be one or the other or both. We will see. The longer I'm making these videos and the more I need to drink, the more I'm starting to sound like Sean Dyche, which is a little bit scary because I reckon if I go a little bit deeper, I might be able to talk like him and speak about other player that we've messed up over the last 3 games. It's not been good enough, but we need to improve that. That was horrendous. Oh, it's late. I'm giving it a go. So look, have a good evening. Have a good day. I will see you for the match preview later today. Peace.